At first, it seemed like just another ordinary night in New Jersey. The sound of skates cutting across the ice echoed through the arena, while players battled for every play, slamming into the boards and racing across the rink at full speed. Families watched from the stands, casually talking while the energy of a normal hockey game filled the building. It was loud, physical, fast, the kind of night where nobody expects something truly serious to happen. But within seconds, everything changed. One of the players suddenly collapsed onto the ice without warning. At first, nobody fully understood what was happening. Some thought it was just another hard collision, something common in hockey. But it quickly became clear that this was different. The player wasn't moving. Silence slowly began spreading across the arena as teammates rushed toward him in panic. The energy of the game vanished instantly. What had been entertainment only moments earlier had suddenly become a life-or-death situation unfolding in front of dozens of people. While most of the arena was still trying to process what was happening, one man reacted immediately. Off-duty police officer Joseph Palumbo, who had been playing in the game himself, moved toward the collapsed player without hesitation. Still wearing full hockey gear, he instantly recognized the signs of cardiac arrest. There was no confusion, no delay, no moment where people looked around waiting for someone else to take control. While others stood frozen in shock, the officer was already on his knees beside the player trying to save his life. In moments like this, training and instinct take over. The badge may not have been visible that night, but years of preparation still were. Officer Palumbo immediately began performing CPR while players, coaches, and spectators watched in complete silence. Every second mattered. Inside that arena, everyone understood that time was running out far too quickly. The scene felt surreal. The noise of the game had disappeared completely. There was no score, no rivalry, no competition anymore. Players stood motionless near the boards, watching the officer fight to keep the man alive right in front of them. Even while wearing heavy hockey equipment and surrounded by fear, pressure, and chaos, Joseph Palumbo remained calm, focused, controlled. While someone called 911 and others desperately searched for an AED, the officer never stopped working. And maybe that is exactly what makes stories like this so powerful. Because in that moment, there was no obligation. He wasn't on duty. He wasn't responding to an emergency call. There were no cameras pointed at him and no expectation of recognition. He was simply a man who chose to act while everyone else froze. And sometimes, that is exactly what separates tragedy from survival. Then, finally, the AED arrived. The tension inside the arena was overwhelming. People watched in absolute silence as the officer and others worked desperately to bring the player back. Seconds felt like hours. Inside that building, everyone shared the same terrifying thought. If this didn't work, that man was going to die right there in front of them. And then, finally, the player responded. Life returned. Relief swept through the arena as paramedics arrived to continue treatment. What could have become an irreversible tragedy turned into a story of survival because one officer decided to act immediately when the situation seemed hopeless. Long before emergency crews arrived, Joseph Palumbo had already made the difference that mattered most. This is the side of heroism that many people never see. It does not always appear during massive operations, dangerous chases, or dramatic moments under flashing lights. Sometimes it appears quietly, in ordinary places, in front of ordinary people. A hockey rink, a late-night highway, a crowded street. Moments where someone must decide whether they are willing to step forward while everyone else stands still. Across America, there are officers who carry that mindset every single day, whether they are on duty or not. The training, responsibility, and sense of duty never fully disappear. And sometimes, in the most unexpected moments imaginable, that becomes the only reason someone makes it home alive. That night in New Jersey, an off-duty officer stepped forward without hesitation, and because he did, one family did not receive a devastating phone call that night. One man was given another chance to live, and once again, quietly, Without national headlines or recognition, America showed the kind of courage that still exists in people willing to act when it matters most.